Welcome back, guys, and today we're going to discuss ICT-based adaptation of 21st century and self-peered assessment for 21st century literature in the Philippines and of the world. Ako nga pala si Teacher Say of Angeles City Senior High School, Schools Division of Angeles City. So, let's start. So for today, guys, we're going to discuss ICT-based adaptation of 21st century literature and self-peer assessment for 21st century literature in the Philippines and of the world. So let's start. For today's presentation or for today's topic, we're going to discuss about information and communication technology, social media, should and shouldn't do when posting in social media platforms. So for starters, our social media platforms increase our knowledge of our everyday lives. How? You may write your answer in you may post this video and write your answer in the comment section down below. So if we're talking about information and communication technology or ICT or technologies, it is the infrastructure and components that enable modern computing. Although there is no single universal definition of ICT, the term is generally accepted meaning all devices, networking components, applications, and systems that combine allows people and organizations to interact in the digital world. So basically, if ICT or technology for layman's term is a general definition, okay, wherein for us in the IT field or information technology field, these are the software and the hardware components that helps us humans interact with each other. For example, your computer and the internet, and then you can communicate with another person through his or her cell phone. Okay? Those are just some terminologies that you need to take into consideration if you are talking about information and communication technology. And then we have social media. Social media is an internet-based form of communication. Okay? Social media platforms allow users to have conversations, share information, and create web contents. There are many forms of social media including blogs, microblogs, wikis, social networking sites, photo sharing sites, instant messaging, video sharing sites, podcasts, widgets, virtual worlds, and more. Social media allows you to communicate with friends and families, learn new things, develop your interest, and be entertained. Basically, if we're talking about social media, okay, or social media platforms, these are not just your average Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, okay? Because we have different types or different forms of social media. For example, blog. Okay, in the past, we are using, I forgot the website, but that is a purely blogging site. Okay, I forgot the name. Then we have microblogs, wikis. Wikis are consolidation of editable pages wherein information was shared. For example, Wikipedia. Okay, that's why Wikipedia cannot be used as your reference for your research because anyone can change it. Social networking sites, for example, Facebook and Twitter. Okay, then photo sharing sites like Instagram. Okay, Instagram, Pinterest, okay, and many more. Instant messaging like Facebook Messenger. Okay, not really sure with others. Skype, Zoom, and many more. Video sharing sites like YouTube. Okay, YouTube. It's not YouTube. It's YouTube. Okay, podcast. Podcast, if I'm not mistaken, Spotify can be used also for podcasting. Widgets. These are just smaller kinds of applications that you can use. Virtual worlds like what do you call this one? Augmented realities or virtual realities. Okay, social media is used basically to communicate. It's not just for your friends or families. Right now, because of the current pandemic, we are using social media platforms to communicate with our colleagues. If you're like me, I'm a professional. We not just in the teaching field but also in the information technology field, I can communicate with my clients if someone would like to um, ask for my commission to create a website, they can communicate me through social media. Okay, or let's say in my profession as a teacher, we announce to our classes using Facebook Messenger. Okay, but basically, if you're a professional, most likely you should have your own personal number. Okay, because it is more professional looking if someone is contacting you and that is urgent. Okay, unlike in Messenger that anyone can communicate with you. Okay, learn new things. Of course, in Facebook, you can learn how to cook. You can learn how to play games. In YouTube, it's another level of learning. There are a lot of lessons, a lot of video lessons. For example, this one that I'm making, okay, or that you are watching right now, is another way of how you could learn about a certain topic. Develop your interest. Okay, for example, in my case, because I bike to work, okay, I watch different bike vlogging personalities, and that encouraged me to try different things in biking. Like for example, going to different places, doing some long rides with friends and the like. Okay, and also looking at different components of bikes that I think is better for my way of riding, and be entertained. Of course, if you're bored, especially right now during the pandemic, okay, we use, let's say, you are going to watch in Netflix, okay, videos, different kinds of dramas, different kinds of movies, or you just go to YouTube and watch some clips, okay, or sometimes in TikTok, you just watch short clips of people dancing or even doing different stuffs to entertain others. That is social media. And here are the things that you should and shouldn't do when posting in social media platforms. So let's go first to should. There are some simple, somewhat common sense best practices when it comes to creating, sharing content online. Please remember the following. Number 1, be yourself. The charming, moderate, censored, professional version. If you keep this in mind, you will be able to build an authentic persona that people would want to engage with online. Basically, it simply says, if you are a jolly person and you want to be a vlogger, for example, you should be jolly also. Okay? You don't need to change your attitude. You don't need to change the way you talk just because you want to get other people to subscribe to your channel. Okay? How you talk and how you interact with other people should be the same when posting something in the internet. Okay? And then use humor. When acceptable and necessary, sometimes it comes down to personal judgment. When in doubt, keep it poised, but don't be afraid to exercise your wit when it proves fun, appropriate, and relatable. Please be careful with humor. Not everything should be made fun of. Okay, maraming bashers yan, and sometimes you just said something wrong na para sa'yo is it's not a big deal. Okay, it would be a big issue if it would go circulate in the social media, in different social media platforms. And then think before you post. Of course, this is very important. In the past, it's think before you speak, but now think before you post. Online is forever. Okay, in many cases, doesn't engage in topics of conversation that could leave you regretting your words years, months, or even seconds later. Remember, okay, there are cases online, there are cases in other countries wherein someone deleted their post or conversation, but because Facebook is keeping them in archives, and that is part of their policies. Okay, if someone would ask Facebook to get parts of the conversation that you deleted, they can give it to the court and it can be used against you. So be careful on what you are posting. Okay, for example, for us teachers, we teachers should be politically neutral. Okay, because that is part of our that is part of our oath as teachers. We cannot give we can give our sentiments, but we cannot encourage others to vote for someone. Okay, so if someone posted, let's say, vote for this one because these are the reasons, he or she is encouraging students to vote this person because of his belief, because of his political views, because of his political alignment. Then he suddenly deleted it. He or she suddenly deleted it. Someone went to the higher ups and told them, okay, this person is violating the oath of teachers, okay, or your oath as a teacher. They can ask Facebook or Twitter or any social networking sites or social media platforms to extract the data, and they can use it against that person. Okay, so please be careful when you are posting online. Remember, when it's online, it's forever there. There are several things you should not do online. First, be tone deaf. Relative to neglecting current event research, coming across as tone deaf can be as simple as not checking a trending hashtag before using it for your post online. So, for example, okay, I'm going to use the latest trend right now, which is regarding the Omicron variant. Okay, it's not good to mention names, but it's a name of a lady who come from other country. Then she got positive, went into quarantine facility and went out before even finishing her quarantine, and then they partied all night. The problem is she's positive with COVID and it's an Omicron variant. Okay, so if you're using that hashtag, for example, you're posting something and you didn't know what is the use of that hashtag, then there's a problem. Okay, you need to understand first what are the trends before you jump into the bandwagon of those things. Okay, because later on it can be used against you again. We mentioned it earlier, or you would look like a fool to the whole community, and that's not what we want when we are online. And then share too much information. Some things are better left unsaid. As a rule of thumb, people do not need to know your physiological functions, your embarrassing moments, or your lengthy daily recap. In a way, posting your itinerary can also endanger you in so many ways. Okay? In social media, we always post what we are doing. Okay? But please be careful on what you are posting online. Just like what my network security professor said during my masteral course, even your pictures can be used against you, not just because let's say you posted something malicious. Okay, data on your pictures can be used against you. For example, they want to go into your house, they saw that you didn't post anything, you just post your picture, okay, on the day itself, and they know that you're not around your property, so they can just download the picture and see where you at, and then they could do anything to your place. Okay, another let's say you read something about a book. Okay, not everyone wants to have your deep explanation on that certain book. They just want to see if you understand the book as it is. Okay, so lengthy conversations or a long post sometimes could backfire with you. Okay, so balance your post or balance your way of sharing information with what people want and what you want to share with them. Flat out lie. Don't risk whatever reputation you may have already made by sharing false, misleading, or refutable information online. Good guideline is to share factual information for which you have supporting data or professional viewpoints. Being honest about your achievements and knowledge base will help you build a trustworthy online persona within the online community. Okay, this was trending lately. A couple which are vloggers, they said that they would not return to the vlogging scene, but after a few weeks they returned. Okay, because they said they don't want to have the limelight anymore, okay, or something like that. Along that line, they decided to quit vlogging, and then a few weeks later they returned. People bash them, okay, because basically they just lied that they don't want to vlog anymore. Okay, that's one example. Okay, another is do not post something that you don't really know. Okay, you just jump into the bandwagon and pretend that you know something. That is a big no-no in the social media world. Okay, and share your strong opinions. If you're looking to build a worthy online persona, it's best to leave certain subjects out of your conversations. With so much valuable content and ideas to exchange, there are much more productive ways to grow an audience. Leave biased topics to discuss with trusted family and friends online. There's a problem with us Filipinos, okay? Especially right now, we are on the time where, number one, we're under the global pandemic still, and number two, election period is near. Okay, problem here is we always jump into the bandwagon of political issues. Okay, so please, if you want to build, let's say you want to be someone who is known to play or to read certain genres of books and give feedbacks about them, you should not be joining with the content. Let's say a political content, then you jump on it. You will ruin your persona. You will ruin your online persona. You stick on what you want to be online. Don't just jump with any topics just to get viewers, just to get followers, subscribers. Okay, you should maintain who you really are online. If you have an opinion on that topic and that is not within the character that you are building, okay, the character that you are building online, you should stop sharing that. It will ruin your online persona. Okay? So how this knowledge be used in 21st century literature? Basically, there are a lot of topics that you can share with 21st century literature, but because of this basic knowledge of the social media platforms, the ICT tools, the technologies that we have, and the shoulds and shouldn't be done online, it is more productive. It is more safe. It is safer for you to post something if you know these things. Another is it will build a reputation for you. Okay, if you keep this in mind, the shoulds and shouldn't, you can create your online persona, and people will look onto you on your topics, on your contents later on. So, last question: why do we need to understand the importance of social media platforms in studying 21st century literature? So with that is the last lesson for this semester, okay, for 21st century literature. So I hope you learned something, and we'll see you again next time.